That's what she said. And you know what? What was that? Okay, James.
Balenciaga has shown that they are pro-child abuse through their very blatant child predatorial campaign. I'm sure you know that Balenciaga is the fashion brand that Kim has heavily been promoting for the last year. This is Balenciaga's holiday campaign that features 2 little girls holding bears that are dressed in BDSM wear. Why would we ever put a child in a photo that contains chains and bondage? These are the images they chose to use to promote the sale of millions of dollars. And these images actually get far worse. This Twitter user exposed that in one of the campaign images, right here on Balenciaga's website, included a very poorly hidden document. This photo contains the court document of United States versus Williams. And this was a pretty grotesque court decision because it pretty much said that distributing graphic images of children are okay as long as it's not obscene. So you're telling me Balenciaga didn't know exactly what they were doing? They of course issued an apology only after people got mad, because somehow they themselves, with dozens of people on their production team, people who have to cross this off, people who have to approve this, didn't think it was a problem, and even went on to put imagery like this in. Yeah, Balenciaga, you can keep your apology.
I already know you. I'm not gonna beg you to listen to me. You ain't got to worry about me wasting no more time on you.
I don't remember asking you a goddamn thing.
You must listen. What I'm about to tell you will change the course of history.
Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
I'm not draining myself. And that's what y'all ass don't get, cause
you're in the Matrix and you need to get out.
Balenciaga scandal exposing a hidden satanic cult. Lada Volkova, a highly celebrated stylist in the fashion industry, who works for Vogue, Adidas, Chanel, and has been a top stylist for Balenciaga since 2014. She has deleted her Instagram account since the scandal hit. But archived images show a dark appreciation, extremely inappropriate ad campaigns featuring children and disturbing symbolism. One of the Balenciaga campaign photos, a child's drawing of the devil, and a random black hood perfectly placed and tied resembling a satanic hidden cult. And I show you something interesting if you go to Google Translate and type in Balenciaga. For Latin to English comes up with do what you want. And we know that is one of the satanic commandments. Do as thou wilt, meaning do whatever you want. Don't care about morality, don't care about the 10 Commandments. What Kanye West say about Balenciaga?
You know, as far as like none of the celebrities, so this just shows you all celebrities are controlled. You don't see no celebrities talking about the Balenciaga situation, right? So that just shows you all of these celebrities out here, don't let them influence you in any way because they're controlled by the people who really influence the world. There's no such thing as a celebrity influencer. All these people, they're not serving God. If they serve God, then believe what they're talking about.
Are you believe what the media is telling you? Oh, this man is crazy, he lost his mind. Or he just tried to tell us what is really going on in the world. They trying to influence your children. They are trying to dictate how we think, how we move. Do we have any power? If someday we find we do, what we will do this evil.
Yay, I got pizza. Fun day. And I got to go to the convention that I've always wanted to go to. So, yeah. Can't wait to be with my parents. Because so, yeah. Can't wait to be with my parents. Because yay, I got pizza. Fun day. And I got to go to the convention that I've always wanted to go to. So, yeah. Can't wait to be with my parents. Because
yay. Welcome to the Matrix Study Hall. I am Miss Oracle. thanks again for everybody here that have liked and subscribed. Y'all, I really appreciate it. So let's go ahead and get into this. I want to briefly get into going down this rabbit hole of the Balenciaga scandal and a lot of the cultural symbolism and controversy surrounding all of it. And I want to also bring in this whole panda eye thing. Okay, I'm going to briefly touch on this because this can get really gory and deep, and I don't want to, I don't want to go too deep into this. This stuff is really sinister and satanic, but it has to be said because people have very short attention span and memories, and these are things that are not only harmful, it is really to the point where they're trying to normalize and make it seem like it's aesthetic to have images of CA. You know what CA means? Child, ABUSE. All right. And so with the controversy, I think this was around 2022, where the luxury fashion house Balenciaga, they released 2 ad campaigns, and it drew a lot of intense criticism. One was because the children that were holding the teddy bears, they were dressed in like bondage style harnesses and BDSM type stuff. And another thing was image of a court document visible on a desk in a picture that was in regarding to the United States versus the Williams case, which was in regard to child exploitation laws. And with them doing this, there's no coincidences. This is intentional. They are really being bold about the things that they're doing in a very covert manner. They're utilizing artistic expression to make it seem like these things are actually normal. And they are utilizing certain key figures, people that are major influencers like Kim K, like Lady Gaga, to not only desensitize a lot of occultic imagery, but to bring in this really dark underworld to fashion, to modern society. And Balenciaga's imagery, it symbolized a lot of hidden gore, major transgressions disguised as artistic expression, and also they have that shock value. And the symbolism that has also included Baal references is pretty obvious. And let me get a little bit into Baal. Okay, Baal represents this ancient pagan worship who was a Canaanite deity or a demon, often associated with the Bible in regarding to idolatry and child sacrifice. And this is going to be based off Jeremiah 19:5. And also a lot of the symbolism was in regarding to bondage props, okay, occultic rituals, all of this stuff. And they're making it seem as if it is a new version of art combining with modern pop aesthetics and all of this stuff, but it's really an echo of ancient demonic practices. Okay, and they're trying to intertwine the innocence of children with perversion. I want to also touch a little bit on Kim Kardashian and Kanye West, and also Lady Gaga, as well as many others, but these are just a few that I'm going to be focusing in because they have been long time Balenciaga ambassadors. And initially, these people, they were kind of silent about their stance on it, but we have to be honest. This is the price these people pay in order to be a part of this elitist society of Hollywood. Okay, their collaboration with Balenciaga is not just happenstance. It's not that they're blind about what they're doing. These people are pretty bold about the things that they partake in. In fact, in order to get to that level that they are, I'm pretty sure they had to partake allegedly in some very sinister things. Also, keep in mind that what I noticed about some of the images I found of Lady Gaga, she's also trying to make this whole dark pop aesthetic, trying to intersect occultic practices and esoteric imagery as something that should be promoted towards the mainstream. And even with her, on several images I've seen of her having makeup of the panda eyes. And if you're not familiar, you can, on your own time, you can look into the panda eye thing, but it's really in regarding to when a child experiences sodomy, trauma, and it causes them to have that type of effect to their eyes. Okay. Also, I included a clip of a young lady. I'm not exactly sure how old she was, but she looked very young, and she obviously had the panda eyes. And also, she was speaking about eating pizza. And we all know, if you're not familiar, pizza is a reference to children. Yeah, consuming children, exploitation of children, the violation of children. Okay, let's get a little bit further into this. So the deeper message in regarding to this spiritual and cultural disconnection when it comes to Balenciaga is that they are wanting the culture of Hollywood to make it seem as if this is the new norm. Now let's go to Isaiah 5:20, which says, "Woe to those who call evil good and good evil." This is a reminder that the public, everyday people, when we see these things, we have to be really spiritually vigilant, because when we're able to discern art between normalizing darkness, and then we can shield ourselves. Another thing too is that they released this apology statement because the public's reaction shows that society still has somewhat of a moral line to not cross, especially regarding the protection of children. But the scandal prompted them to come out. They spoke about, having ethical oversight in marketing campaigns. But the truth of the matter is that the Balenciaga scandal, it serves as a mirror. Okay, whether viewed through a social, moral, or spiritual lens, it really reveals a profound truth, and that is, there is a lot of darkness, there is a lot of perversion, there is a lot of spiritual decay that is hidden beneath luxury, fame, and money. That's really what it is. Another thing too I want to get into is the unveiling of darkness in regarding to Baal worship. Now, Psalm 106:37 speaks about Baal. They sacrifice their sons and their daughters unto Baal. Also, Ephesians 5:11, where it says, "Have no fellowship with the unfruitful works of darkness, but rather to expose them." And what we're seeing is that a lot of these celebrity influencers are the modern faces of an ancient evil, Baal worship, also the Asherah worship. When it comes to these demons, okay, a lot of people want to pretend as if these things are real, but they're putting this out in our faces. In ancient Israel, Baal and Asherah were names for these false gods that seduce nations away from the Most High Yahweh, Yeshua, Jesus Christ. Baal represented lust for power, prosperity, and control. And Asherah represented fertility, ritualistic prostitution, and the worship of self. And ironically, there's somebody, I don't want to really name names, but people are familiar with someone named Asherah here on this platform, and ironically they kind of promote a similar type of dynamic. We have to be really careful of names and aliases that we use, because we really are dabbling, unfortunately we could be dabbling with something really sinister and dark. Keep in mind that although they're very covert in regarding to Baal worship and Asherah worship, it's at this point where a lot of people are awakening to different truths, and Hollywood is being exposed.